All right, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start off facing the east by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, teach well, teaching His truth in its entirety. It's your brother Kalab, also go by Hope, Grace, and Mercy. And I got another opportunity to come out to the highways and hedges and give diligence my call and election sure. All right, and before we get started, like we always do, we bring out a couple of articles, things that's going on all throughout the four corners of the earth, mainly here in Babylon the Great. All right, because we beautiful times, you know. Brothers continue to come out to the highways and hedges and doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai in true faith and sincerity, you know, no matter what they got to endure. You know, we going to continue to do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai as long as He give us the opportunity to. All right, I'm getting out here a little late because I had some troubles with my vehicle. But hey, the water Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for allowing me to over situation. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a couple of articles from the kind headlines. The first article says vehicle repossession projected to reach 10.5 million by year, and we know that the repossession is happening because, you know, Jake ain't living like he think he is. You know, not only that, on top of that, the government shutdown had a lot of people not being able to pay their bills, notes, house. So that's why it's a domino effect, you know. But we know that eventually all these things gonna come to pass, and it ain't gonna be no more. Ain't gonna be no more people trying to buy new cars. Ain't gonna be no people trying to refinance their cars because, man, you know what? This place is going down the drain. All right. It says the next one says 1 in 4 households is now living paycheck to paycheck. You know, and I got a rib, she got a job, I got a job, you know, and it's still hard, you know. So just imagine for people who live in paycheck to paycheck all by, you know. But we loving this, you know. We don't want to stay here. We ain't trying to live our best life here in Babylon the Great. You know, we ain't trying to keep up with the Joneses. So let it fall the way Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai said it's gonna fall. The next is Russia vows to defend Venezuela as U.S. sends warships. So we know that the war drums are still sounding, you know, and eventually they're gonna really come to a clash. And the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai giving us a spirit to hope for these things, to wait and pray on these things to come to pass, because I can't wait till wars kick off. I can't wait till the dollar collapse. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to, you know what I'm saying, Jacob's trouble. You know, not saying like I know I'm gonna be straight. It's not up to me. It's up to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But we looking for this place to crumble. All right. Next article is coming from Verizon is axing 15,000 jobs as new CEO reconstructs. So 15,000 jobs, man. That's 15,000 families that's about to get back out there in the wreck. That's 15,000 families that's about to be laid on their mortgages in. 15,000 families that's about to be struggling on paying their car notes, rent, buying food. And I just saw an article on the brother Warumya page. They says that now everybody has to reapply. All those who have been on food stamps and things like that, they now have to reapply for food stamps because of so much food stamp fraud been going on. And then I saw another article, a brother did a lesson, said that it was going in about Section 8, saying that Section 8 is about to run out. So, hey, all these people who put their securities in Babylon the Great, you know what I'm saying, food stamps, you know, on Section 8, hey, man, if you depending on your government to feed you and house you, then you also depend giving your government the right to starve you and have you homeless with no roof over your head. All right. Let's see. It says foreclosures surged 20% as Americans struggle to pay mortgage, raising fears of 2008 style crash. So 2008 crash that happened with the housing market, I was a part of it. Not so much as I lost my house, but I worked at JP Morgan Chase in a mortgage department. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. You know, I didn't have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding at the time, but when that comes back, you know, I think everybody gonna realize, like, yeah, this place is really out of there, man, because it's so many articles and so much news coming out about Babylon is struggling. All right, it says major red flag. Major red flags that were seen in 2008 are emerging again. Look at this. Another major retailer is closing stores across multiple states, Saks and Fifth Ave. You know, they say that's where you go when you got a few more dollars. All right? Let me see. Top officials present Trump with military options for Venezuela in coming days. War drum sounding. Nearly half of all U.S. states are sliding to recession. The water y'all about Shem Yahweh Shai for this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Scripture says that knowledge, wisdom, and shall be the stability of the times. And the times that we living in, if you ain't got this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and you ain't covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai and Mashiach, hey man, you out of there. Losing a car in the house gonna be the last of mine. So like, yeah, losing a car in the house is gonna be the last thing on your mind, you know. So while you have an opportunity, you know, it's best to, you know what I'm saying, take this thing seriously. You know, that's only if Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gives you the ability. He blesses you to get this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But for the brothers and women, for the brothers that's out here stiffly pushing, hey, I encourage you to keep your feet on Esau's neck with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, and for the men, women, and children that have come back to their true power, I encourage you to continue as well. Water Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have in these days. It's a perfect time. You know, living our lives in Babylon the Great for so many years, and then in the latter days, like right now that we in, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gave us the opportunity to get this knowledge and understanding. He woke us up. Perfect time. All right? So let me. No, I got it. All right? First precept I'm going to grab is coming from the book of Psalms, chapter 55, 15, and starting at verse 16, and it reads, "As for me, I will call upon Yahweh thy power, and the Lord shall save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice." We out here crying aloud. You know what I'm saying? We calling on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai morning, noon, and night. You know, because we know that this is our only shot at salvation. He is our only chance at salvation. Lord willing, we a part of that number. You know, because this thing that we a part of, you know, the world is about to see it on the world stage. All those who have not came back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai in true faith and sincerity, they had an opportunity to, they gonna definitely wish they did at that time. You know, but it's easier said than done. All right, again, it says, Psalm chapter 55 and verse 16, "As for me, I will call upon Yahweh thy power, and the Lord shall save me." That's why we calling on him, because we need to be saved. All right? Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. And how are we crying aloud? How are we crying aloud? How are we being aloud for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? All right, let's get that in Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. It says, "Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up my voice like a trumpet to my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sin. All right, it says, cry aloud, spare not. We out here crying. This is how we crying aloud to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know, we crying to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua because we know what's coming down the pipeline. We fear him. We fear the Father. We fear the Son. You know, so we need him. We need them. That's why we crying out. You know, it says again, Isaiah 8 and verse 1, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. You know, and the trumpet is one of the loudest instruments. You know, so we out here crying aloud. You know what I'm saying? Lifting up our voices and hedges, lifting up our voice on the internet. You know, brothers doing edifying sit-down lessons. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. Heaven and earth to record this day again, Salakia. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. For choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is giving us a chance every day. He's giving us an opportunity to either choose life or death. You know, I could say like, oh, I choose life easily. You know, but according to the way you're living, according to what you believe, according to your actions, you know, some could be choosing death. Again, it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. So we choosing life. We choosing life by serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, because guess what? We want to live. We want to continue this thing. We want to see Babylon the Great fall. You know, we want to make it through Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. We want to continue to live. You know, we want those chariots to swing low, like the song say, swing low, swing chariot. Coming for to carry me home. We want to survive. All right. Coming from Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 3. And death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue that remain of this evil family, which remain in all the places whither I have driven them, said the Lord of hosts. So people are choosing life. People are, you know, the ones that's choosing life are the ones that have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They fear their power. You know, they came back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua in these latter days of true faith and sincerity, because they know coming down the pipeline. You know, now we don't know if we are part of that number, but hey, guess what? We putting on as the hopefully elect because we want to be a part of that number. It says, and death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remain in all the places whether I have driven them, said the Lord of hosts. You know, people chasing the bag, you know what I'm saying? Money over everything, you know what I'm saying? People want to forward themselves here at Babylon the Great. Brother got 6 degrees, working on his 7th degree. You know, choosing death, man. You really choosing death, and you don't even know. All right. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 16, and it reads, "Though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe unto me if I preach not the gospel." So it's like, man, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know you ain't supposed to be chilling on the couch. But like the old couple, you ain't doing nothing. You just sitting on the couch, not doing nothing, you know. But having this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man, you can't be twiddling your thumb. You got to be putting in some type of work, man, some type of effort with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know. All right, so you go a couple of days without doing a lesson, or a couple of days without praying, studying, man, you start to feel weird. You know, you start to feel convicted or condemned. You start to feel a certain kind of way because you know that your spirit is supposed to be moving in a certain manner, you know? So that's why, as the scripture says, woe it, it's a gnat out here, damn. That's why the scriptures, 1 Corinthians 9 and 16 says, unto me if I preach not the gospel. So, hey man, have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and not be using it, man. Like they say in the world, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So we're praying that Yahweh Shem Yahushai don't take this spirit from us, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Hey, oh boy, if you think life hard right now, life is even way harder without Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And if you ain't got Yahweh Shem Yahushai in the times that we coming into, you through, you out of there. You out of there before you even knew it. All right? You know what I'm saying? So this is what we supposed to be doing. This is what we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? This is the assignment that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has given us. You know? These are our orders. This is the duty that we supposed to be living out. This is the duty that we supposed to be keeping up with. All right? Let me grab this in Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. And it reads, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh thy power and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. So our whole is to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai and keep the commandments to the best of our ability. Although no, it's impossible for us to keep the commandments, all the commandments, you know what I'm saying, perfectly. I was out with my lady last night, you know, from town, and a t-shirt fringe group, you know what I'm saying, you know, tried to condemn me because, you know, I ain't got fringes on my shirt. Same t-shirt fringe that used to be with one body in Yahushua, you know, nobody in Yahushua. Might as well say that, you know. So, you know, I blew it off. I ain't losing no sleep over your, you know what I'm saying, because I ain't got fringes on my shirt, you know. But the water Yahweh Shem Yahushai for pulling me up out of that t-shirt fringe camp. All right. Back to it. This is Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 24. And it reads, but they hearken not, nor incline their ear, but walk in the counsel of the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and forward, and went backward and not forward. You know, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave us certain orders. We supposed to be living. We supposed to be standing for Yahweh Shem Yahushai in a certain manner. You know, but guess what? It says that Jeremiah 7 and 24 says, but they hearken not. So they didn't listen. You know, they didn't pay attention. They didn't take heed. They didn't think it was that because, you know, that Christianity church that they was raised in, you know what I'm saying, taught them that, hey, man, Jesus died for your sin. Live your life like it's gold and do whatever you want to. You know, so then when the true believers, true worshipers of Yahweh Shem Yahushai try to tell them, hey, man, you wrong your whole life. We've been wrong our whole life. You know, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai woke us up to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in the days we in. Try to teach them. We try to tell them like you're going off if you still doing that, you still believing it. You know, but guess what? They throw their hand up at you like, hey, man, get out of here. But hey, at the end of the day, it ain't us you need to be fearing. You know? All right, next precept is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. You know, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai is saying they ain't gonna listen and hearken to you because ultimately they don't listen and hearken to me. I mean that, you know, we stop doing what Yahweh Shem Yahushai is telling us to do, instructing us to do, put a spirit on us to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a price to pay. It's a judgment that's called who don't hearken. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious judgment like you've never seen before coming to the planet Earth. I'm just out here teaching the gospel. You know we Israelites. You do know that? All right, so that's what I'm out here, just teaching the word. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to get hit. Thank you for stopping, sister. All right. Where was I? Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 7. And it reads, but if Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me, for all, Salakia. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. All the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted. So yeah, stiff-necked. You know what I'm saying? Jake and Eva walk by you and pull up on you like who is? You know what I'm saying? But they'll go get a boss or they'll get that pastor in that church more respect than anybody they would give in the world, you know? But guess what? It's a price to pay. Judgment that's coming to the planet Earth for not hearkening to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Let's see. Just a quick definition for hearken. Google definition, it says pay attention, listen. You know, so paying attention and listening is hearkening is just paying attention and listening to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? Taking heed. Let's see. There's another. It's cool, ain't no big deal. But yeah, hearken, just a quick definition. It says pay attention. So taking heed to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's word and his will is just listening and paying attention, Salaki. All right. Let's grab. This is Proverbs chapter 26, and it reads, "I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh." So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is telling you, hey, it's a judgment coming. Since you didn't hearken, what's gonna happen? Death, destruction. You know, when the famine comes, and the famine is just a lack of resources, a lack of water, a lack of food. You know, ultimately, the scariest thing that you should be fearing is the famine. But like the scripture says, in Ezekiel chapter 3 and 7 is they will not hearken unto thee because they have not hearkened unto me. You know, but guess what? All because you didn't hearken to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, he gonna make it hell on you. He gonna make it hell on your whole family. You know, if you're not a part of the elect number, you got a price to pay, man. You're gonna pay with your life, you know? It says Proverbs 1 and 26, "I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh." In the midst of Jacob's trouble, our temptation, when backs are against the wall, your power is going to be laughing at your calamity. Your power is going to be destruction that's on top of your head. Why? Because you didn't choose to hearken to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua before that day came. All right? All right, next precept. Still in the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 26. Now I'm at 27. It says, when your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, distress and anguish cometh upon you. So when all the worst things that could be happening to you, when they fall upon you, you're laughing at you. You know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is gonna have a spirit, the true believers, to be laughing at people in the days of Jacob's trouble, in the hour of temptation. When Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua proved that who he dealing with, when brothers and sisters are realizing that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua got a hedge of protection over them, making it through the fire, saving them for all type of things that could happen to them, and making a way out of no way. You know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to put a spirit on brothers and sisters to laugh, you know, and that's ultimately your power laughing at you as well. Again, it says Proverbs chapter 1. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, when the distress and anguish cometh upon you. So this is why we not playing about Shem Yahushua, because we know that all his word is faithful and true. All these things will come to pass, regardless if you believe it or not, regardless if you don't think that something like that can happen. You just can't see, you know what I'm saying, Jesus doing something like that. That's on you. That's on you. And if you don't believe, guess what? Desolation and destruction is going to come upon you like a whirlwind. And there ain't going to be nothing you can do about it. All right? So that's why we not playing with our Bashem Yahushua. You know, this ain't something you want to, you know, take light. You know, ain't no reason why you should be. All right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. In thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So a day of vengeance is coming. A day of destruction is coming, you know? And that day is going to be a time period where it's just going to be hard for the planet, you know, for the entire planet. But guess what? If Yahweh Shem Yahushua is dealing with you, if you're a number, you know, if you're a part of that number, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to take care of you. You ain't got nothing to worry about. All we got to do in the times we living in right now, this day, all we got to do is just pursue. Always keep our hand on the plow. Keep believing. You know what I'm saying? Keep fighting the fight of faith. You know what I'm saying? That's all we got to do is just keep it going. You know what? This is what I was looking for right here. For the word hearken, definition of hearken, it says to listen with deep attention, and it applies not to just hearing, but also obeying or giving heed to what is said. So that's what hearkening is. Hearkening is not just, it is listening, attention. All right, it says to listen with deep attention, and it applies to not just hearing, but obeying and giving heed to what is said. So you're going to move in a certain manner because you hearkening to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know? The water Yahweh Shem Yahushua for bringing that back up. I found what I was looking for. You know, it was going to burn. It was going to mess with me if I couldn't get there, because I know I had found it at one point. All right? Next precept is coming from Revelation 19 and verse 7, and it reads, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And that Lamb wife is Israel. That wife is Yasharallah, you know, but not the whole Israel, you know, only the 1/3 and the 144,000. You know what I'm saying? It's going to escape. It's going to escape the judgment of Yahushua Mashiach at his return. Let me get it in the NLT. This is the book of Revelation chapter 19, starting at verse 7 in the NLT. It says, let us be glad and rejoice, and let us give honor to him, for the time has come for the wedding feast of the Lamb, and his bride is prepared herself. She has been given the finest of pure white linen to wear, for the fine linen represents the deeds of Yahweh thy power's holy people. So, you know, the wife is Yasharallah. That's us. You know, we fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We trusted in him in the times, you know what I'm saying, that we were supposed to, up until that Yahushua Mashiach pulled back up on the scene. You know what I'm saying? It says, let us be glad and rejoice, you know, for everything that's going on in Babylon the Great and the things to come. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a person to want these things to continue to happen. You know, government was shut down, I think like 40 some days, you know, and brothers was like, man, please let it stay shut down. You know what I'm saying? Please let them food stamps not come in. You know, hey, you gotta be a special person, man. Y'all about Shem Awashai gotta put a certain spirit on you to want this place to crash and burn, man. And that's definitely what we want, man. The water y'all about Shem Awashai. The definition of glad. Quick definition of glad, it says pleased, delight, happy, well pleased, thrilled, overjoyed, elated, gleeful, satisfied, thankful, over the moon. What else? You know, that's just a quick definition of glad. It's a lot of me. Again, this is KJV, Revelations 19:7. It says, let us be glad and rejoice. So we glad and, man, we happy as hell. You know what I'm saying? For the times that we, you know, for the things that we seeing come to pass. You know what I'm saying? For the death, chaos and destruction that's about to take place in Babylon the Great. The misery that's happening right now. Repos at an all-time high. The housing market is starting to look like 2008 all over again. Hey, the water y'all by Shem Awashai for the times we living in. For this destruction that's taking place, for the misery. You know, that's a beautiful. Not only that, the devil, Esau, Edom, that's all he want to do is just inflict psychological hell and stress on you, man. That's what they doing. That's what they gonna do with their MOT to the B. You know what I'm saying? They want to be your God. You know, and to micromanage your life. You know, as if they ain't doing it already, but they finna really smash down on these people, man. Just like you see how when they can't eat, they go stand those long lines. You know what I'm saying, to get food. When there ain't no more food and you ain't got no way to buy or sell or feed yourself or feed your family and like that, man, them lines gonna be even packed. I mean, even longer. You know, them people gonna line right up and take that. You know what? Why? Because they don't fear Yahweh Shem Awashai. You know, they not gonna be a part of that number. All right, so that's why we glad. It says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife, which is Yasharallah, Israel, hath made herself ready. But why do y'all by Shem Awashai for this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding? All right. Still in Revelations 19 and verse 8. And to her was granted that she should array in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. So, man, even though we know, you know what I'm saying, even our best deeds are fixed to our power. But that's why we need him, because, you know what I'm saying, through grace, although we living out our punishment, you know what I'm saying, for going off, our punishment had grace included in it already. So that's why we glad, because, you know what I'm saying, that grace ain't nothing we can do, you know what I'm saying, to make ourselves whole before our power. So that's why it's so important to trust Yahweh Shem Awashai, because that grace the mercy and grace comes with this punishment. So the least we can do is come out to the highways and hedges. The least we can do is pray. The least we can do is study to show ourselves approved. The least we can do is fear our power. The rest of that stuff, you know, as far as what the world has to offer, you know what I'm saying? If you put this away for 2 years, then you can have this. Or if you apply this to your life, and now it's just like everything that Babylon has to offer, it's just a trap, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just to prolong you here even more longer and inflict more hell upon you. All right, next precept is coming from the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 14. It says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, Be diligent, ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blemish. So you want to be found without spot and blemish, at the return of our power, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? Spot and blemish. You wouldn't go to a wife wouldn't walk down the aisle, with a jelly stain on her dress. She gonna make sure don't nothing touch that. You know what I'm saying? She gonna make, she pure, white, and clean. Ain't got no blemishes on her or her dress. Although here in Babylon the Great, they keep those customs when getting married. Although the women are not pure, you know what I'm saying? But that's just a custom that they keep here in Babylon the Great. But yeah, you want to be found without spot or blemish, Let me grab Isaiah chapter 64. It's cool. I grab Isaiah 55 and verse 6. And it reads, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Scriptures is telling you to call upon your power right now while you got an opportunity. It says, Lord, while he may be found, because guess what? A time is coming where you ain't going to be able to call on Yahweh Shai. A time is coming when you ain't going to be able to go to the internet, you know what I'm saying, and hear a brother break down certain lessons or break down certain scriptures, That's why you're supposed to be calling on Yahweh Shai while you got a chance to, because the time is coming where he ain't going to hear your cry. So that's why brothers is lifting up they voice like trumpet right now. It says, Isaiah 55 and verse 6, seek the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Call upon Yahweh Shai while you got a chance, man. Do the work. Give it all you got. We in the last days. We at the end of this thing. It should be a light. It should be light for you to go give it all you got in these times we living in. Book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 28. For as it was your to go astray from Yahweh thy power, so being returned, seeking 10 times more. So we supposed to be seeking Yahweh Shai 10 times more. Ever since we came back into this knowledge, wisdom, and came into this knowledge, wisdom, standing, we supposed to be seeking Yahweh Shai 10 times more. Why not? We at the end of this thing. Give it all you got. If you at a football playing on a football team or on a ball team, you got a few seconds left on the clock. That you ain't gonna start worrying about what your wife cooking at the house. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna give it all you got until the last second is up. And that's what we supposed to be doing right now. Give what we got until Yahweh Shai tell us this the end of this thing. All right? Still in Baruch chapter 4 and verse 29, and it reads, For he that have these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. So man, all the hell that we catching right now, everything that we going through, guess what? Yahweh Shai, if you a part of that, Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. You beautiful brothers and sisters that have come back to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When Yahweh Hashem Yahushua pull up on the scene, man, all the hell that we done been through, everything that we done had to go through, endure, guess what? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua coming back with everlasting joy, coming back with salvation. Again, it says, this is the book of Baruch chapter 4 and 29. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Everlasting joy. We don't even know what that is. We can't even explain what everlasting joy is. We can give you a description of what we think it is, but we ain't never experienced it. But guess what? Our power is coming with everlasting joy, man. Along with your salvation comes with everlasting joy. Never be sick again. Never go off again. Saying never just have to, nothing you don't like or want to do, you'll never have to partake in that again. All right? All right? So like it for that. Yeah, we gotta continue to serve our power, man. It ain't can do to make ourselves, you know what I'm saying, whole with our power. So guess what? The grace and mercy that he gonna give us, you know what I'm saying, the everlasting joy and salvation that's coming real soon. Hey man, the smallest thing you can do, man, is just continue to seek your power, man, because ain't nothing we can do. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is our only hope. That's your only hope. Ain't nothing else you can do to get yourself up out this situation. So ain't nothing you can do to get yourself out of this situation by yourself. That's why we need salvation from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 6. But we are all as unclean things, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and iniquities like the wind have taken us away. Man, everything you done did that you thought was good and it was to the best of your ability, man, still filthy rags to your power. So they let you know the good deeds that you do, man, that ain't got nothing to do with your salvation. Your salvation is great. It came from the grace and mercy from your power, man. You can't do this thing on your own. You know what I'm saying? Make it up on one of those chariots. It's ultimately the grace that comes from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is Jeremiah 4 and verse 22. It says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, might as well just say retarded. Sottish children. And they have none understanding. Are wise to do evil, but do good. They have no knowledge. So, you know what I'm saying? Israel, they good at doing all the wrong things. They can tell you how to do this, how to do that, but they don't have no knowledge of their power. They don't have no knowledge of their power. They thinking going to church and passing out plates to the homeless, you know what I'm saying, is something that's making God and Jesus smile. Well, you're going to find out soon that all the things that they doing is making the Father and Son frowned upon them. All right? The sun Willie beaming right now. I'm just looking for something real quick. This is Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7. It's wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. So wisdom is the principal thing. You know, all you get with this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you're supposed to be gaining you're supposed to gain an understanding with this wisdom and knowledge that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has put on you in your lap. You know, we're supposed to be growing in this thing. You know, we're supposed to continue to grow. You know, fasting with prayer. You know, fasting and prayer, man, works, man. It works marvelous wonders, man. Alone, you know, you have a clear mind. You focusing on your power. Not only that, but you inflicting your spirit. You know, you inflicting your spirit all while praying to your power. You know what I'm saying? Calling on His name. Fasting is a beautiful thing, man. And my brother, although I haven't been fasting as much as I should, or often as I should. But my brother, you know, who I teach with, Heart of David, you know what I'm saying? The brother we had a conversation about how good fasting, you know what I'm saying? It's just a wonderful thing, man. Just to fast and, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua supping with you. Book of Psalms, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 51, starting at verse 10. It says, "Create in me a clean heart, O Yahweh, thy power, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit." So this is what we praying that Yahweh Shem Yahushua don't put us to the side. We praying that Yahweh Shem Yahushua don't take this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from us. So that's why we praying and asking Yahweh Shem Yahushua, like it says, "Create in me a clean heart, O your power, and renew a right spirit within me." You know, you know what I'm saying? Take all the things you don't want inside of me out of me, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Replace me with you. You know, take all out of me and replace me with 100% you. Okay? One second. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's where we live. These are the times that we're living in right now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be tarrying, because the prophecy is set for a certain point of time. You know what I'm saying? All prophecies are coming to pass, and we just waiting on one of the last major prophecies to take place, the MOT to the E. And it said, I saw another article on the Brother Warumia page where it said that let me grab it. It says 17 countries have rolled out or passed digital ID laws in the last 3 months. So it got UK, Laos, China, Taiwan, Mexico, Zambia, Canada, Ethiopia, Thailand, Vietnam, Australia, Costa Rica, Switzerland, and Papua New Guinea. So ultimately, regardless if they not on here anyway, you know, Babylon the Great, they should be at the top of the list. So that's what's coming down the pipeline, man. All right? So this is the time where we need to be trusting in our power, toes down, you know, and the water Yahweh Shem Yahushua for another opportunity to come out here to the highways and hedges. All right, I'm going to end it on that note, and I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodah. Shalom.